What up guys, since I might not be able to do a tech update video this weekend, I decided to do one today. There's actually been some really interesting stuff to come out, specifically about why your computer might melt under Cyberpunk, amongst other things, and so I want to dive into that with you guys. And by the way, remember, I'm giving away this 1TB NVMe. If you haven't entered that already, it will be in the description. I have to basically do it through Twitter because of YouTube's new video rules. You're not allowed to post like hyperlinks anymore. So anyway, it is there. Enter this if you haven't already. So let's talk about Cyberpunk. The first thing the developers have said is that they are going to use everything your computer has to offer. This might be the first game I've seen that actually can use 8 cores for gaming. Not only that, but they say that they're going to peg this thing at 90% usage, saying that you should use Cinebench to see if your cooling is adequate to keep your CPU basically under control, as it's going to be pegged near 100% the entire time you're playing this game. As of now, I don't really know there's that many games out there that take more than 4 to 6 cores max at any given time. I know there may be a few RTS titles that kind of do that, but just know this is really unusual. The other fact is that they've moved their minimum requirement hardware for this to a much higher standard. If you're looking to play at 1440p or 4K, you basically have to have the best computer money can buy. Now, that's not shocking, as Cyberpunk originally, when it came out, was like the most demanding title to play. It's become better optimized, and with the update coming out in a week, up to Phantom Liberty, there are going to be new optimizations. But it is wild to think that literally you can use an 8-core processor and it's going to be pegged at 90%. I feel like this is going to cause quite a bit of backlash. There are a lot of people who are fine to game in their current configuration, but not with the CPU pegged the same way you would be like rendering AI or doing 3D modeling work. So we're going to have to see how this goes. But a lot of you guys may be upgrading your cooler at the very minimum, if not your entire computer, in order to play this game well. Speaking about optimizations for games, Starfield has faced a lot of backlash over its high hardware threshold and poor performance across a number of, different systems. There's been some excellent videos that I'll kind of link down below on basically optimizing your hardware for this, your settings, everything, because it is really demanding. I have the best computer money can buy, and at 4K Ultra, which I know is a 1% thing, but I barely get 60 FPS. You would imagine that with a 4090 you'd be able to push that threshold higher, but you are going to have to compromise if you want higher FPS in this game. The good news is that the game still feels relatively good to play even with lower FPS, so that's kind of the caveat there. But yeah, there's a lot of recourse against that. I will link Steve's guide on this. I think it's one of the best ones out there if you want to squeeze some more performance out of that game. Nvidia has been dropping their pricing on their 4070 along with a few other SKUs with the release of the 7800 XT and 7700 XT respectively. The 7800 XT is a great performer. Running my own benchmarks on this thing, I was really happy with its overall performance. I think it's an absolute stellar value for people who want to get into the mid to high level gaming, and it comes in at $100, less than the 4070. That is until the 4070 dropped their price by about $50. So now it's a little bit murkier on what choice to go with. I personally would still lean towards the 7800 XT if ray tracing is not important to you. But if it is and you want Nvidia's suite, $50 for basically the same gaming performance, but getting access to DLSS and NVENC encoding is kind of tempting, but obviously that's up to you whether you think that value is there or not. Now, what I feel is a kind of odd move from AMD, there has been rumors that they are going to be releasing a 10 and 12 gigabyte version of their 7600 XT. Now, this is one of their lowest performing cards, although some would argue it's a good value. I don't personally feel that way, but the tough thing is that the GPU itself, in my opinion, doesn't have enough staying power to warrant 10 or 12 gigabyte versions of this card. It just doesn't have the guts to drive a lot of these newer titles the way it needs to, regardless of VRAM. There might be some people who feel differently about it, but I feel like it's almost a waste where you'd be better off spending that VRAM, let's say, on like a 650, like something in between there, where it's maybe in that $300 price bracket, because the issue is that compute cores on the GPU are going to fall off before the VRAM on it becomes relevant. That's at least the way I feel about it. I hope I'm proven wrong. Like, maybe this is the right move, but I don't see it being like a value add for a GPU in that tier, because you're going to end up probably replacing that GPU before the VRAM becomes relevant anyway. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a big thumbs up. If it was terrible, leave me a thumbs down. Remember to get subscribed, hit that bell icon so you know when these videos drop next. Enter that giveaway for that 1 terabyte drive if you haven't already. I'll see you guys here in my next video. Thanks for watching.